Good morning, people. It's not that sunny today, but still happy days. Welcome to another episode of the Contact channel. My name is Rocco, and today I'm going to give you a little update of whatever happened my previous working week. So, last week I was allocated on 3 different wards. As some of you may know, I'm a bank healthcare assistant. So we got to try different, every day is different for us. So I was allocated to neurosurgery ward, to A&E, and on a ward where they look after with people with the maxillofacial surgery. So a neurosurgery ward was a golden ward, which means the top of the top. I was so surprised how shiny, how clean it was, how everyone was so professional, so caring. It seems like a Michelin star hospital ward. Unbelievable. And neurofacial, they look after people who have brain surgeries. In a specific case, I was looking after a 25 years old young fella, and he was having some brain abscess. So a quick explanation of brain abscess. Brain abscess is when there is an infection in the brain tissue. So how does it spread out infection to the brain? It can spread out through ear infection, it can spread out through pneumonia, or simply if you go like an open wound in your brain, the skull area, or even if you go any open wound along your body through the bloodstream. But in this case, the guy had a brain infection because he had a tooth infection. The tooth infection stayed in there. It wasn't cured for quite a long time, so the infection managed to spread to the brain tissue, and the guy all of a sudden had a seizure. And he fell up on the floor, he banged his head, and he was rushed to the hospital, neurosurgery ward, and operation was done, and they managed to remove some of the abscess. So he had operation done on this part of the brain. So how the operation work? In a very simplistic way, guys, because remember, I'm not a surgeon, I'm not a doctor. I'm here to just give you a little insight of what happened in the ward. And it was they make a cut. There's a cut out this wide like this. So and then they apply a kind of catheter on the inside of it. So and then the pus starts to come out. Once the pus starts to come out, they suck it out with a type of syringe. I mean, it's not literally a syringe, but the way it works is kind of syringe. You literally suck the pus out, and then they close the wound. They make sure they give a previous operation and afterwards they give antibiotics to make sure there is no complication, and the guy is fine. So then I managed to spend a quick 10 minutes with the guy saying, because I understood right away there was something wrong with it. At the beginning he was kind of nervous to talk with me, but I never force people. But then he I don't know, maybe because of my charm or my professionalism, I don't know, I know how to make people at ease. So the guys literally open up with me, telling me, look, he's been having a kind of drug and alcohol problem. So the reason he had this tooth infection for a long time is because he didn't have any money to sort out his tooth. And I say, you see, man, look, that could cost your life. It literally could cost his life, because brain abscess is something very serious. But now the guy has managed to be clean for 1 month, and hopefully he will be fine. I don't know, the rest, it was a pretty normal shift. Blood pressure, doing cleaning, rolling patient. Patient had different type of similar surgeries, but not anything that complicated. So it was a good shift so far. My next ward I was allocated to, it was where a ward looking after people who had the maxillofacial surgery and how you call it. And so I was looking after a lady who had a neck dissection. So what's a neck dissection is when they make a cut along the throat and they remove the lymph nodes, because sometimes you realize when you go cold, when you try to swallow it, you can feel those. So she had the lady those lymph nodes removed. What is gonna impress you is like I was doing one-to-one with this lady. What does one-to-one means? I was allocated as a one-to-one healthcare system, which means I was sitting next by her all night long, and that was the only patient I was looking after, because the lady apparently walked into the hospital by herself to have the operation done, but after the operation she was not able to walk anymore, and she became very confused. So because the operation, she had a trachea tube, which is a tube long like this, banana shape, to help her breathe, just inserts. There's a hole in here, so if you remove it, you're literally able to see inside the throat. So you literally, she was trying to remove it. She also had an NG tube, which is a kind of a meter long tube, which is go through till the stomach, through the nose. So, and is attached with some kind of a strong tape, plaster type on here and on here. But still, if you have a free hands, you can able to remove it. So she had those two tubes necessary for a feeding. The NG tube was necessary for the feeding and for the medication, and the trachea tube was needed for help the patient breathing. So she was trying to fight all night long to remove. First of all, she had some protective gloves. Those gloves I needed to not allow you to grab items around you. So she had those protective gloves, but however, she was just trying to fight them, to remove them, to pull everything out. So I needed to be allocated with her all night long. And that was it. My shift all the time. I haven't been allocated anyway. I was simply checking her blood pressure and reposition the patient every 4 hours. And that was my shift. That can be quite challenging because I mean, luckily the patient after her medication of some simple tablets, she managed to have like those 3-4 hours sleeping during the shift, and but then after that she was literally looking at you, staring at me, like she was trying to communicate to me, remove those gloves or remove those tubes, I want to go home. But she was not able to talk. She was literally fighting all night long. So I had to sit literally next by her all night long. Right, my next department was A&E. I have to say, one shift in A&E was so quiet. I was sleeping all night long. I mean, not the type of sleeping you have on your bed, but literally I was walking around like a zombie, because we managed to do, you know, the first few hours you keep going around, keep see if your department is fine. I'll just pop into the main A unit in recess, in triage, just to see if they need any help. But apparently every department was not busy, so I'm just pop around, see if sort the place out, keep the ward tidy, do as usual, stock up, and that was literally where quick. And then till 8 o'clock in the morning, literally, guys, nothing to do. I was literally looking after 4 patients. All A&E, there were 3 nurses, 1 ACA, 1 manager, only 3 or 4 patients. Unbelievable. I mean, the nurses were doing the blood pressure. I was simply just going around, see if anyone needs help, pop here and there. But I remember I was sitting by and literally, I was closing my eyes like this. I was trying to get up, make another coffee, but when you have nothing to do, what you want to do? And the day after, that's something more interesting happened, more exciting. That is why I love to work in A&E. I was having a break, me and my colleagues. This gentleman is a mental health support worker, So he's allocated on a one-to-one basis with the patient only, but sometimes looks after two patients. For people come from the outside in A&E, for people who's got mental health issues. And anyway, I said, man, shall we go for a little walk outside, have a little break, some fresh air? And I said, all right, then let me hand over. So I let them know I'm going out. Once we were just standing beside A&E, there was this for the emergency door. We saw the emergency door open right away, bam, it's banging on the wall, and we saw this young fella just walking out and tried to escape. So my colleagues realized it was one of the patients was looking after, and so he tried to approach him like on a very nice and calm way. And so the guys go very paranoid. He starts to say, "Oh, what do you want to do to me? You want to kill me? What do you want to do? Don't kill me. Don't do anything to me." He was very delusional, very paranoid. It was part of his issues, the issue he had. So my colleague is like, it was so nice to watch. My colleague, he literally approached him very calmly, and I said, "Oh, my friends, no worry. I'm a friend of you. I'm your brother." So the guy just managed to calm down for a second. After calm down, he put his arms down. My colleague literally grabbed him from the back and pushed him from the outside. In the meantime, security was coming and other people were coming, but it was literally a 10-second job. I don't know, you just calmly approach him and then right away grab it from the back and push up, push it in. It literally was, wow, the level of professionalism of this guy is actually exceptional. I congratulate him so much, because without him, the guys may have to manage to escape. A gentleman, a patient have this type of a mental health issue, they can simply just get dead because of an accident, or if you encounter the wrong people, you can literally dead. It needs to be under constant monitoring. And another funny encounter I had, the hospital where I'm working is close by a prison, so we often have a prisoner coming in. I feel like to to be on a action movie. What that means, the patient I was looking after, he was guarded by three prison officers. So two prison officers walking next behind him, and the one prison officer, she was tied up with him. So this guy had some chain on the arm, some chain on the legs. So arm and legs were all tied up with another chain. So can you imagine the scene of this person walking along the corridor with that infernal chain noise? You know, that all the straining or the metal, and you see those people like looking tough, walking around, and this guy, he wanted to kill himself. So it is the second attempt. So the second time I read his fault, I read his records. This guy, the second time he came in the hospital, and he literally had some blade, so he tried to cut his arm, so he had a different cut in here, and one, it was not simply cut, because usually people won't kill themselves, just simply do some cuts, then member of family realize, and luckily they haven't discovered how to cut your arms properly, how to die faster, but that's good. They do the cut on a wrong position, but this guy had literally a piece of limb like this, missing from the arm. So wow, it was so dark to see. It literally, I don't know. It seems nice guy, but you know, after some years of prison, almost everyone turned into nice guy. But anyway, that was impressive to see. I never seen somebody who literally remove a piece of meat, a piece of it literally was a piece of meat missing from the arm. Unbelievable. I'm sure in the prison there was blood everywhere. So when they brought to the hospital, they managed to put some dressing on already in the prison before prior to move to the hospital. And there's another crazy story. But anyway, those 2 shifts in A&E were very quiet. Bloody hell, guys, there is not like any emotional story to bring you, but I'm sure if you keep up, I'm sure will be. If you keep watching my video, I'm sure there will be some more crazy story coming in. And that was it. It had a 4 shift last week. It wasn't that crazy. It was kind of pleasant to work. It was very distressing. It wasn't very busy, crazy. It was fine. Even if we had some nurses strikes, but it was still good. Number of the staffing was pretty good. Actually, there was no many bank shifts all over the hospital, um, which means I don't know. Maybe London didn't go protesting a lot, maybe on the rest of the UK. But yeah, we had a few agency, a lot of banks around, so they managed to keep this staffing level up. So guys, I hope you like those little content I'm sharing with you, and from in the next couple of weeks I'm going to host some podcasts, and I'm going to interview different colleagues of mine with different position. Some of them are doctors, some of them are senior nurse, intensive care, cardiac, general, coordinator, mental health support worker, different from different sections within the hospital. So I hope you have a good day and see you soon.